Are we living in a flat Earth or is it a globe? You hear about the globalists out there, but is that a smart term to call it the globalist if the Earth is flat? We're going to take a look at this right now. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you're willing to go with me, but we're going to go there today. All right, let's go. Together. All right. We're going to take a look at a couple clips, and I'm going to throw Alex O'Connor in here because he is the one. If you watch anything on a particular topic, YouTube's going to feed that to you. And I watch Alex O'Connor a lot, and he talked about the flat Earth years and years ago, and now I'm going to be seeing about flat Earth for the next month or so. How far down the rabbit hole are you willing to go? Here we go. This is not Alex O'Connor, but we'll see him in a second.
It's a misconception that Christopher Columbus discovered that the Earth is round. Virtually every scholar and major religion in the West accepted Earth's rotundity since at least the time of the ancient Greeks, who, for instance, had noticed that boats disappear bottom first when sailing away, and as you walk north and south, stars pop into and out of view. The misconception that only a few hundred years ago lots and lots of people believed the Earth was flat likely began in the modern era as a sort of insult, your people recently thought the Earth was flat,
So are you anti-science? Are you anti-science if you believe the Earth is flat? I'm not going to tell you right now what I believe, right? I want you to kind of just warm me up a little bit. Let you think about this. Should we take serious consideration about this topic? One thing I would say from the get-go is, why don't the people in the high up, the government, why doesn't the president of the United States just come out and just demolish the stupidity of the argument that the Earth is flat? Are you think they got better things to do? Maybe in some things, but it wouldn't take long. They got the technology. Let's answer this once and for all.
Why should we believe you now? The smear was repeated and published so often it became accepted as historical fact. Flat earther became synonymous with anti-science. It might seem flat over short distances, but over longer ones, the Earth is pretty darn curvy. The Verrazano Narrows Bridge, connecting Staten Island and Brooklyn, had to be designed with Earth's roundness in mind.
All right, this is a very interesting thing because he's going to say that one side of the bridge is higher than the other by millimeters. All right, let me disclose a few things. I don't think the Earth is flat. But I have went down this rabbit hole before, and I was convinced a little bit for a while. And I think that is where they'll get you if you start actually taking some serious thought about this, because there's things about the Earth that if you just look at it from our perspective here on land, it does not seem like it's round, and that everything is just calm. Everything is just situated. It doesn't feel like a round globe just being here. But there are things about it that are interesting, that how could we have any type of navigation if the Earth was flat? How could you know that you're going north or south? Or if you're going west or east, you're always going to have to be angling upwards or angling the other way, kind of, and having, how could you have GPS at all? We'd have to rename it. It wouldn't no longer be global positioning system, it'd be flat positioning system. I know these might be kind of tearing at straw men, but I don't want it to be, but I'm just telling you what I think from the get-go. There are things about it, and also the roundness of the Earth, that we look up at the moon, and that there is, the waxing, the waning of the moon. Sometimes it's a full moon, sometimes it's not. How could a flat Earth give that shadow on the moon as opposed to a round Earth? A round Earth, it's like you can see the circle of the Earth, if that is it. So I think this guy points out rightly that people have been, for years we've been told, they used to believe in flat earthers, they're stupid back then, when really I think it's anachronistic. We're looking back, we're imposing something in the past that wasn't really there. But it's very intriguing when you actually dive into this from the flat earth perspective, because it'll get you if you're not careful. We're going to continue a little bit on, because I want to hear him say about this bridge positioning that they had to take into account when they were engineering it.
Its two towers, separated by 1,300 meters and perfectly vertical, are nonetheless 41 millimeters further apart at the top than at the bottom because of Earth's curvature. In the 3rd century BC, Eratosthenes measured the differences between shadows cast by poles in Syene and Alexandria to calculate, more than 2,000 years before rockets and space travel, the circumference of the entire globular Earth, with, for the time, impressive accuracy.
All right, so I want to continue on because I want to show the Alex clip because it is very important to keep in mind when we're looking at this. This is something to think about because a lot of people, when they get into this flat Earth thing, they apply it to religion, and their whole belief structure and belief system becomes their religion in a lot of ways. And it has to do a lot with conspiracies, and the people in the higher ups, they're always trying to withhold and hide information. I don't think the people at the very top are going to be that great at colluding together, but that's just me. I don't think that people can keep something a secret that well. It's always going to spill out. And what would be the motive of doing this? How does there not being a flat Earth, how does that discredit the existence of God? Either way, it's miraculous, the world that we live in. It's absolutely miraculous, whether you think it's a globe or a flat Earth. But I want to hear, because this is what Alex says, and he's going to speak about that it's dangerous for people to kind of go down this trail of believing in flat Earth. But I don't think it's that far. But hear what he has to say.
And so credulous people might be prone to the danger of adopting these beliefs because there's no serious opposition to them. And if we just laugh these things off and say, oh, well, it's ridiculous, let's not waste our time on them, then people who are beginning to become seduced by flat Earth conspiracies, for instance, are starting to go down a very dangerous path. And if there's no serious opposition to pull these people back to reason, then they might just fall all the way down the rabbit hole. And that's not something which I particularly want to happen. I don't want people who are agnostic about this issue to fall on the side of illogic. And so that is why, despite how ridiculous flat Earth conspiracies might seem to be, they are dangerous. And I think that we should still try and tackle them.
All right. That's a very interesting take, that it's dangerous. Now, that you can see that was a younger Alex version right there. So that was a while ago. I don't know where he still stands on this, if he's even thought about it. But the flat Earth viewpoint of our world, is that going to shatter your faith if the Earth is not flat? I don't think most believers out there, what type of religion you're in, that God not creating a flat Earth, and that the Bible, I don't think the Bible upholds one way or the other. There are things in the Bible that talk about that seems that God holds the earth in suspension. It's like in the air. It has markers that it looks like it's a globe. It's round. It's circular. God looks over the circle of the earth. That could look into that could go with the flat Earth in a sense, because they make it seem like it's round. It's kind of like a dome kind of thing. But on both sides, then you could say, like God says, the four corners of the earth, it seems like they're in places that it's flat. But I don't think that it is. I don't think that the Bible is not meant to be a science textbook of how our universe and solar system is put together. It's not concerned with that. It is speaking complete truth. I would argue that it is undeniable truth always, 100% of the time. It is true and accurate. But understanding the genre of what it's talking about and what it's even trying to demonstrate and prove, it's more concerned with telling us what we need to know as opposed to everything that we want to know. I think we're going to eventually find out, but what I am curious about is I don't understand why the people at the top, like these conspiracies, why don't Trump got in office, why couldn't he settle these things? Maybe he's got a war to concern about, maybe he's got the economy to get up and running, and he doesn't want to deal with this. But man, you're there, if anybody's going to talk about these things, it might be him. He's all about this, getting this new space station and this new space movement up and running. He created Space Force, put some things to rest. He released the JFK files. He doesn't care about the political upheaval and people going against him. Answer some of these things. I want to understand about the moon landing. If it happened, if it literally happened, I want to know about it, and I want it to be crystal clear. And I think a lot of people why can't we make that absolutely clear? Why can't the people that are there Demonstrate it to us. Prove it to us. You have the power to do so. You have the technology. But then they're saying they don't have the technology to get us back to the moon, but yet over 50 years ago, we got there. This whole thing about the flat earth, this is something Elon Musk needs to talk about. He needs to explain it, tell how stupid it is, because he's sending rockets up into space. Just satisfy the longings of our heart that we want to know, did this happen or not? Is it round? Is it global? Is it a flat earth? Answer these things. People have the power to do so. People have the resources to do so. But sometimes it seems like I don't know what it is. I think people, no matter how powerful you are, is there some other force that's above them that doesn't let them go? It says, here you can go and no further. Because it doesn't seem like they don't answer the silliest things that we could have answered. I don't believe in the flat earth. I don't think it is. But just concrete answer it. That's what I would say to the people up there. And if anyone else out there disagrees with that, I'd love to hear it, because do you stand on the flat earth? Do you think that there is a flat earth, or do you think that the earth is round? What type of world are we living in? I'm very curious what you all think, because to me, I think the globalists got it right. But who am I? It seems every turn of the wind, we always change our viewpoints and we learn something we didn't know before. But answer it, man. Just answer it, people. People, come on. All right, if you've enjoyed this video, hit this video over here, and I'll see you on the other side.